Hi Sue, it's day 21. How are you doing?
Day 21 of COVID lockdown. Yeah, I'm okay actually. It seems a long way in, I have to say, by now.
It sure does. And today we've decided to talk about the lovely topic of disappointment. And I was just reading up on disappointment before we came on. So disappointment apparently is sadness or displeasure caused by the non-fulfillment of one's hopes or expectations. Did
Patience.
you write it down too?
I did, and I love it actually. It's a really good, short, sharp, little clip interpretation of what it's all about.
And then I was reading about, like, from a psychologist's point of view, it's a form of sadness, a feeling of loss. And I like this one, or an uncomfortable space between expectations and our actual reality. And I think that's actually where disappointment lies. And I hate having expectations because, I love Tony Robbins and I love how he says, swap expectations for appreciation and you'll never be disappointed again. However, that's really, really hard sometimes, isn't it? I do my best as a person to really try to appreciate others, their flaws, their great things about them. I try to just really, truly appreciate them. However, sometimes our needs are still not met, and that's where disappointment creeps in. And I know we are firm believers and firm advocates of self-love, self-care and giving it all to yourself. However, still sometimes it would be so nice to get that from somebody else, wouldn't it? And I think disappointment is the big word.
It's quite key though, isn't it? When you look at the interpretation of disappointment, which is the unmet or unfulfilled hopes and expectations, it's basically saying if you don't put hope or expectation on a situation or a person, you're not going to face disappointment. So in theory, if we meet our own needs, if we only put expectations on ourselves, then we can't be failed or let down or disappointed by external sources. We can still be let down or face internal disappointments, but we live in a world where we do put need, expectation, and hope on situations and people, especially in relationships with partners, relationships with family, friends, children. We put expectations. And it's interesting because I was really in one of my feelings last night and I felt let down by somebody else, and then I analyzed it and I sat in it and I said, Sue, what are you feeling let down by? And it was actually my expectation of that person that I was feeling let down by. It wasn't the person at all. And then I had to say to myself, what was the expectation I put on them? Was it fair? No, it wasn't. Can you meet that need in yourself? Yes, I can. And instantly it dissipated.
Of course. And that's what I was going to go into next. I was going to say, whenever a feeling of disappointment comes up, there will always be a lesson in there, whether we're learning about what we were expecting off others or we learn a lesson that perhaps we're not giving it to ourselves. So in a way, everything teaches us something. So we've got to take the positives from it. And I love the beautiful, beautiful quote from the clever Helen Keller. We would never learn to be brave and patient if there were only joy in the world. And it's true, everything teaches us something.
It does, but then ultimately, do we look for that joy in external circumstances and other people? Do we look for them to make us happy in the situations to give us pleasure? Or do we look for it within? And our journey in life is only to go within. And therefore, if we find joy within, then surely, and I say this because obviously I speak for me, then surely if we're operating from a place of peace and joy within, we can find the pleasures elsewhere, or we give the joy out. And it's not so much for trying to find the joy, but to give out that joy from where we come. That's my own kind of journey that I'm trying to go on at the moment.
But that's what I mean. And life is a journey. We talk about this bloody onion and being layers and layers and layers because we think we've learned something, and then all of a sudden, boom, we face disappointment yet again. We think we are practicing self-care, we think we are practicing self-love, we think we've got to this place of inner peace and tranquility, and yet we are at a certain level, but then we need to go deeper, and we need to go deeper, and we need to go deeper again, and everything teaches us something. And if we can be the best version of ourselves, we give out more joyously, and we give out without expectations of receiving anything back. And that's lovely if we're practicing self-care all the time. However, life throws these curveballs at us, and currently we're in lockdown. I think people are facing a lot of stuff right now. It's very, very confronting. Like, I just want to go and hug everybody. I'm disappointed in my lack of physical contact with people. I'm disappointed.
You were saying earlier, weren't you, when lockdown is over, you're just going to go and hug everybody. Do you think the whole world is going to go and hug everyone? And I said, no, Joe, that's one of your 5 love languages, but it's not everyone else's love language. So I think lots of people are going to be in fear the minute you're released.
I did say to this man in the supermarket yesterday, who I do know, we're not very close, but he was kind of pretending to give me a virtual hug from across the aisle. I pretended to give him one. I said, I'm going to hug everybody when I'm out of here. He did look slightly alarmed.
I'm not surprised. Those love languages are quite interesting, aren't they? Because through the love languages, we then put need and expectation on other people. For example, if your love language is touch, you would expect people to respond by hugging you. But if it's not your love language, it might be that people are quite afraid of intimacy and touch. So your love languages do explain a lot about the need and expectations you put on other people. Is it that you need their time, but their love language is spending money on you? Is it words of affirmation? Because if you understand your own love languages and you understand another person's love language as well, you can say, well, I felt let down last night because he didn't spend time with me, but he did cook me dinner, he did tidy the house or whatever it is, and therefore his love language is doing things for me. So he does love me in the way that he knows how, but it's not the way I want to receive it. So for those of you that don't know the love languages, buy the book, look online. It's amazing to help you explain where you come from in terms of the expectations and hopes and dreams you have of other people. That's
I love
good.
it.
So, Joe, people that are listening right now, you talk about lockdown. We're in lockdown, day 21 in New Zealand. Different places in the world are at different stages. Some people are in, some people are out. Some people don't know when they're going to come out. Some people have lost businesses. Some people have lost partners. Some people are separated from those that they love. Some people were expecting to deliver a baby with a husband by their side and they've had to deliver on their own. All sorts of different disappointments out there. So many disappointments because we had security, stability, well, a relative form in our life. We knew what lay ahead and then suddenly that changed overnight. So for those people that are sitting in desperate disappointment right now and heartache and pain, the first thing we always say is come to a place of acceptance, isn't it? Acknowledge it, accept it, because you can't take pain away. You can't say, well, look, there's a bigger purpose, although there is. But when you're in it, first step, acknowledge it, accept it. What does that look like?
Well, it's also feeling it, isn't it? Feeling all of that and actually admitting that, because sometimes we are very good at putting everything to one side. You know, people are worse off than me in the world, or I've just got this job to do. I'm just gonna not really address all of that right now. It's actually addressing it and admitting it, and that's the confronting part, I think. But you know, because sometimes these feelings don't make us feel good when we are disappointed, or when we're sad, or if we're bitter, or if we're resentment, you know, holding on to resentment. They're not feelings that make us feel like good people generally, so therefore we don't want to confront them. But again, there is lessons in all of it, so just take that as the positive from it. Address how you feel and admit it. You know, if you're pissed off, be pissed off and admit that you're pissed off. It's okay. Sorry for saying that 3 times, by the way.
Well, there are stages that we go through, aren't there? So it's all very well and good when you're out of the pain or out of the disappointment. You can look back and say, oh, I can understand it now. I learned something from it. And as Rumi says, the cure for our pain is in the pain. But when you're in it doesn't make it any better. So the stages that we go through, acknowledge it, be in it, as you say. And actually, if you are in a place where you need to calm down because it's a shock that you've just lost your business, you've just lost your partner, whatever it is, then you need to be in a position where you can feel safe within yourself, go and calm down. It might look like going to have a hot bath, going for a nice walk, lighting a candle.
Punching a punch bag.
Joe and I are very different.
It's really good to get rid of all of that.
Preferably a punch bag, not a person.
No, never a person, a punch bag. And if you haven't got a punch bag, go and punch your mattress or your pillow. It's so liberating. Just gets out all of this pent-up energy. Punch it.
This is a personal fitness trainer speaking here.
Yes, and I have got a punch bag in my garage and I sometimes just go out and kick it.
Well, that's good. That's great, because all that feeling and emotion is inside, isn't it? You know, yesterday we were talking about whether we cry or whether we get really angry at situations when we're frustrated. We're all sorts of different people, introverts, extroverts, whether you need to get it out, whether you need to bury it in. It's much healthier to get it out. If you bury it inside, it's going to come out another way. It's going to come out in a passive aggressive form of anger. It's going to come out in sadness, it's going to come out depression, it's going to come out. It's better to get it out. And if you're not a sort of person that can punch a punch bag, what can you do, Jo?
Scream, shout, sing, dance.
Put some music on and dance. It's a great one, isn't it? I've done that quite a lot. Put some music on and just be inspired to just let yourself go, get it all out. Dancing's great.
Yeah. I think just accepting disappointment, because, you know, we can get disappointed over the silliest things. You know, I get the kids to do a job, and sometimes if they haven't vacuumed the way I want to, I have been disappointed in the past. Whereas now you turn it around and go, they've actually vacuumed, let's appreciate that. Try to do that appreciation. It is difficult, and sometimes we are just disappointed, so just accept that as well.
And what you're saying is take action, because if you've just lost your job or been given notice, or you don't have an income, you've got children to feed, you've got a mortgage to pay, rent to pay, that's really disappointing. And that's life or death, that's survive or not survive. So take action. Go on the internet, do some research, get your CV together, apply for an online job. There's things you can do to take action. And although it might not present that there's an immediate job there, what it does is it makes you feel re-empowered, because you're in control again, where you had lost control of the situation. So take your control back in a way that you take action and do something. You're proactive. Do something. Because
equally, I mean, all of the above is very scary. You know, anything about the unknown is scary. It just triggers that within us. Even if it's really small things, it triggers fear. But again, accept that and face it. And I think as soon as we go into, if we continue down the scared spiral and fear, then it's very, very hard to turn the situation around, isn't it? Because you're in that fear mindset and everything, you're in negativity, and you're like, I can't do that. Why is this happening? I don't know what to do next. This is so bad. And we label a situation as bad. Allow that to happen for a really short period of time, because it's not actually going to help you. But however, you may need to feel like that for a short period of time, you know, whether that's an hour, a day, a week, I don't know what the situation is. Depends on the severity, I suppose. However, you know, we've had some amazing guests on our podcast, haven't we, that have had life-changing experiences, and all of the messages are the same. You can't turn the clock back. We can't necessarily change what's happened. So just say to yourself, what can I do from here? What can I do for me? What is my next step that I can do? And often, as we know, so it's acceptance.
Absolutely. And just to be in it, I mean, actually just to say, you know, I'm feeling really angry right now, and it's okay to be really angry. I'm feeling like I just want to scream and shout. It's okay to want to scream and shout. I'm feeling really let down. It's okay to feel really let down, because I did put an expectation there and it wasn't met. And therefore I'm feeling really awful. Another quote by Rumi, I love Rumi, is that the cure, wrong one, don't grieve. Anything you lose comes around in another form, which I think is really lovely, isn't it? You know, it's so easy to say at the time, gosh, that was the man I really loved. That was the woman that was my dreams. But actually then when you look back in time, you think, gosh, actually that woman or that boy was somebody that taught me my lessons. And now look at the relationship I'm in, it's much healthier, because when you're in it, it doesn't release the pain. Pain is pain. Black is black. Bleak is bleak. Dark is dark. You can't escape. You can't also compare pain. I mean, as Jo says, we've had the most extraordinary guests on board. We've had people that have been left paralyzed, quadriplegic. We've had people that have been abused in relationships. We've had cancer diagnosis. We've had postnatal depression, palliative care, all sorts of incredible stories. The message is the same. First, accept it. Just be kind to yourself. Do something really nice for yourself. Find the love for yourself that you haven't found somewhere else. And then you can proceed through those levels of healing and transformation. But as Rumi said,
I was just reading about Oprah Winfrey as well, and she said, I have learned that failure is really God's way of saying, excuse me, you're moving in the wrong direction. Do you know, it's like, and this is what we talk about, it's that play on words, it's how we talk to ourselves. I mean, you could just go, oh my God, I've failed, I'm so rubbish, I've invested all of that money in such and such, I've lost everything, blah, 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 blah. Whereas if you actually say to yourself, excuse me, you're moving in the wrong direction. I mean.
Like that. I really like that. And also feelings and emotions are signposts. So you talk about direction. Those emotions you're feeling are also signposts to where you're going, where you shouldn't go. And Jo and I were talking about not living in the past, not living in the future, but being really present right now in this present moment. this has happened in the past, but today, am I okay? Do I have a roof over my head? Do I have food that I can eat? Do I have opportunity that I can create for myself into the unknown? Yes, I do. Can I love myself today? Yes, I can. Yes, I've been rejected. Yes, I've been hurt. Yes, I've been failed by other people and situations, but I am not going to fail myself. And every time we think we fail, we pick ourselves up and try again. And if you watch some of our talks, Joe and I make so many mistakes, and we just have to just do it again and again and again. And we do it live. We make our mistakes live as well, because we're not perfect people. And our message is that, isn't it, Joe?
Just when you said that, though, I was just reading this Japanese proverb, and it said, stand up again, like you just said. It says, fall 7 times, stand up 8.
Oh.
Notice, there is no mention of sitting down when you're tired or crawling when you're scared. Fall 7 times, stand up 8.
Oh, well, we've done more than 7 or 8. We've done hundreds. In fact, we've actually filmed some of our worst moments, terrible moments, when we've got it really badly wrong. So we'll release some of those. Joe, yesterday, when we started recording, she was for the first time on Zoom being given the responsibility by me to be admin, which meant she had to do a live on Facebook as well as record it. And it goes on all funny different pages. You can't actually see what you're doing. So it goes on Facebook Live, although you're on Zoom. But the Facebook Live is sort of 10 seconds behind. So you can't look at the Facebook Live because you're not interacting with what's happening at the time. So Joe starts off by, what were you saying about the pans? Stop banging those pans! We don't care.
We were clumping plates together in the kitchen. It was really annoying.
We don't care. We're really happy to make fools of ourselves because we believe that's the only way we're going to grow and learn. And now Joe knows how to do a Facebook Live, hopefully without shouting at her children at the beginning.
I love that song, I get knocked down, but I get up again. I get knocked down, but I get up again. I get knocked down, but I get up again. And it's so true, isn't it? We get disappointed in life. We get disappointed. We get back up again. We get disappointed. We get back up again. We get disappointed. We get back up again. And we learn, and we learn, and we learn, and we grow. And so I think just take the positives from that, because disappointment can be a bit shit sometimes, to be fair. But live with it, learn from it, and see where you can fulfill your own needs.
Yeah, and if you're a parent, don't hide those disappointments from your children. Role model resilience, role model methods of getting through struggle and adversity and conflict. You don't have to engage your children in the problems. You need to remove some of the information that we give our children. We sometimes give our children too much information, but don't hide from the crisis. You don't need to run up to your bedroom and just go and sulk or cry or run away. Role model how you're going to get through it. They need life skills. And Joe and I, working with teenagers, are finding more and more that teenagers do not have emotional resilience. They do not have the skills to know when life gets difficult and tough that there is a way through it. We don't want the suicide rates to be what they are. We want to see those suicide rates come down. So parents, please role model the positive steps that you take to get out of crisis, and show your children when you get knocked down, you will pick yourself up again and again and again, and do it in a positive mindset. Speak positively to them about it, even if you don't feel it. Do what Joe just said. I'm going to get up again and again and again. No one's going to set me back. Nothing's going to defeat me. Say it, even if you don't mean it, to your children, and role model it. That will be their saving grace, won't it, Joe?
Yeah, and remember, this is my last one. You can't wait for the storm to be over. You have to learn how to dance in the rain.
We could do that today because it's pouring rain. I'm sitting looking out my window here at the sea. Can you see the sea? And if you can see it, can you see the sea?
Yeah. It's not raining at my house, so I only live down the road.
I know, your house is always sunny. When I come down near your road, it's always sunny.
Because I have sunshine.
Can we go outside and dance in the rain today? I don't really want to get wet, to be honest.
You can dance anytime. On that lovely note, I think we should wrap this up and leave our listeners with love, light and peace. And remember, disappointment is just a natural feeling, and just accept it, and maybe try not to have as many expectations on other people.
For listeners, please give us feedback. We love your feedback. We got lots of feedback from England last night about our talk yesterday. And leave feedback on Facebook. Leave us a review on iTunes, on YouTube. Our podcasts can be found on all the podcast sites. Everyone you can imagine, they're there. Our YouTube, our live videos, if you prefer to watch us rather, I don't know why, it's probably better to listen, isn't it? Kind of put it on silent. Well, you can't listen if you put it on silent in the background. But also we're releasing 3 types of podcasts, Joe. What are those?
Teen pods, which are all aimed for teenagers and early 20s, but as we said yesterday, they've got some great topics on and actually may help parents and educators who work with teens and early 20s. We release our weekly podcast, which is about, you know, stories of inspiration, courage, vulnerability. And then we have currently our daily podcasts like this for our COVID lockdown. We're going to try and do these for 30 days. And this is day 21. So you've got at least another 9 days of our mushes about COVID.
And we are live at 5 o'clock New Zealand time, which England time is 6 a.m. in the morning. So get up early, and you can even come on Facebook and see us live, giving us a little summary of the day, what we're releasing, and where we are. Have a great day. Have a great night. Don't know how to end it anywhere. I don't know where it is. I don't know where Facebook is. I'm just going to see if I can stop live stream and stop recording.